female. Sonic. Sonic female. Sonic. Sonic. Sonic female. You're listening to Sonic Female Podcast with Justine Blazer. Today's show is brought to you by White with Style. Whiten in style at home. Beauty and teeth whitening products at great prices and quick shopping. Visit www.whitewithstyle.com. Welcome to Sonic Female. I am your host, Justine Blazer, and today we have not one but two amazing guests. We have Tina Marie and Josie Passantino. How you guys doing today?
Doing great. Hello. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. I was just on your show last night, and now you're on my show, so it's kind of like full circle up in here. So thank you guys for joining me today. My show is about featuring powerhouse females. It could feature men too, but mainly powerhouse females that are really doing some great things in the music business. So that's why I wanted to bring you guys on the show today, because I have been following your guys' whole network for a couple years now, and I'm super impressed by Tina Marie, but also Josie, for all the things that you have been doing at only being 24 years old. So I just want to kind of start from the beginning. Like, how did you get involved in this? Why did you choose radio and having an award show? How did that all come about? So if you can kind of give us a little rundown.
Yes. Well, first off, thank you. So pretty much it started when I was 14 years old. I was with a couple friends and we were like, I would love to have an outlet to be able to, chat with people, because I've always been someone who loves people's stories, people who come from different walks of life. And I love music. So we found, we were like, how can we do this? So radio kind of found me in a way. And so we started that, and then they kind of fell off. They didn't want to do it anymore. And so I was like, you know what? I have the bug. I would really love to continue to do this by myself. And so I started it myself. The Josie Show was born. And so then my mom, Tina here, she came on board to help me out, because I was still in school, public school, and I was then interviewing different guests and booking and all of that. So it was very difficult to do by myself. So my mom helped me out a little bit. Independent artists have always kind of been just a soft spot for me, because they work so hard and they do their own booking sometimes. They do their own, put together their own music, maybe a couple jobs to even be able to afford putting out music and music videos. So I was like, how can I best help out these artists who are want their music heard, but otherwise can't have their music on mainstream radio sometimes. So I did that. And then just gradually I was like, you know what, let's do Country Blast Radio. Let's put a radio station out where we can have all of the great music. And then just it snowballed. And now we're just pretty much doing 9 different brands at this point.
Yes, I know. I wasn't aware of how many brands that you guys were involved in. I know the Josie Awards and Country Blast Radio, but you guys have a number of other entities under that umbrella. So did it just start with one and kind of led to other things? Or did you guys were like, we're going to just do it all and kind of make it all one thing?
It definitely led. I mean, the Josie Show, I thought I was just going to do that. That would be like a fun little thing to do. And then we noticed that gradually everyone was like, we need more of this. We need more outlets for independent artists. So I then was like, you know what, we're getting a lot of country artists out there, not a lot of love for the country music out there, really. So we were like, let's start a station. So we figured out how to do that. We're a licensed 24/7 radio station where we play independent artists with like a mix of Billboard hits, mainstream songs that you hear on mainstream. And then after that, we were like, okay, how do we get artists on the stage? How can we get others to see them and perform? So then the Josie Music Awards was really born, and it really kind of snowballed from there. And then, we wanted to also be able to recognize all the great artists' work as well. So we put together that. Been going pretty well so far.
Yeah. So you have been doing the radio show for roughly 10 years.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. And you started when you were only 14 years old. So that is absolutely incredible. It's so impressive. I can't even imagine being 14 and like, oh, I want to start a radio show. And it's become one of the most successful independent radio stations that I can think of right now. So I love how you guys are featuring, like you said, independent artists, more popular artists, male and female, because we all know it's not a big secret that, country radio is super male dominant. So is that something where you guys were cognitive, or it's just like, hey, I see a good song and I want to play it? I mean, what are your decisions when it comes down to making the playlist?
Absolutely. Well, I absolutely definitely like to throw in women out there because there isn't a lot on radio. So we were very cognizant to be able to do that. But I also just love music. So when someone sends in a great song to us, we definitely listen to it. If we love it, we put it on and we promote the heck out of it. And So that was something that we really wanted to do. And like you said, we have a great mix of indie artists, but also mainstream. For instance, at the Josie Show, I've interviewed artists like Mr. Ray Price, the late Ray Price, who's a legend, Mickey Gilley, Aaron Tippin, just so many incredible artists out there to get to hear their story. And then also independent artists can listen as well and kind of learn from them as well. So we kind of like to get them all together.
Yeah. So you guys run the show every day. You're always in the studio. You're always interviewing guests. You're always what are ways to keep yourself motivated and keeping the listeners involved and intrigued? What are just some ways that you guys can continue that growth?
Oh my goodness, that's a really good question. I just want to make sure that everyone feels heard. I mean, that's why we have a chat room at the Josie Show, so we could hear people's opinions. They can talk to their favorite artists that we have out there. We like that connection. You know what I mean? We like that fan connection and getting to know people and their stories. So we're going to definitely continue that. And we're always doing like fun little things. I mean, you probably see on Facebook, we like to do like Facebook Lives to kind of connect with people. We like to do like giveaways with different of our brands and raffles. Yeah. We like to do just a lot of different things to really get people involved. And we just like to have a little fun, So it's been great. And we're going to continue to do great things for the indie community because they deserve it. So.
Yeah. So Tina Marie, you being her mother, was it something that you just saw in your daughter, like, wow, she's got a knack for being a personality, being a radio host? Or is it something that you just sort of encouraged her to go in that direction? I mean, I'm not a parent, but I mean, every parent has, they want their child to, pursue something. So how did you sort of coach Josie into this direction?
You know what? And that's the funny part. I actually didn't. Josie found this all on her own. I came in kind of secondary. I've worked as a district manager for a long time. My field is business, period, not entertainment per se at the time. And so I just always figured, Josie was always in my office. She was always pretending to be on the phone. She walked around with her little imaginary clipboard, and all those kinds of things. So I just always assumed she would be in an office somewhere. And, so this, I had no idea. She's always been a character. From the time she was very small, she's always had a personality that's been bigger than anything I've ever seen. So it's not a surprise that she was interested in doing this. Very talkative, always very involved. And so, you know what? I think that when she did it at 14 with her friends, it seemed like something really cute and fun, and she was enjoying herself. And, she's out of trouble. We're happy. So she just did her thing. She had fun. Then after a while, it becomes work, So once you start bringing guests on and you got to prepare and all of that, when the work just started happening, sometimes the friends drop off. They want to go play soccer and do whatever they're doing. But Josie she just loved it and she just wanted to continue on her own. So I said, all right, well, let's get it set up. So, I'll help with the setup and that sort of thing. And then she started rolling. And once she, started getting more and more guests on, I would say probably she was lucky enough to interview Katie Cook way at the beginning and from CMT. I'm sure y'all know who she is. Mm-hmm. But anyway, so once that happened, it kind of, things just really started snowballing a little bit. And I actually left my job that I had for many, many years to help her because it was very difficult. And then at some point, too, we had to rearrange her school situation. So we had found for her a private school that was not, just a public situation where they don't really care what you do, pretty much. They just want you to be there 24/7, it seems. So we found another another school who works with young kids who are already pursuing their careers, like Olympiads and, things like that, where there's always travel and things happening. So we put her there, and she flourished as far as school was concerned. She did really well. And then things just kept picking up for her. And, we just kept supporting her, me and her dad, and now her fiance, of course. We just kept supporting her, along the way.
Thank you.
And so this was pretty much all her, with us, backing her and supporting her any way we could.
So when are you getting married?
Okay, so August 1st, 2020, we're going to,
all right.
Yes, so excited. There's like this really cute, it's called Snyder Barns, and it's like a barn setting, but when you go inside it, it's like so fancy. It's really neat. And so, we're super excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're definitely gonna have a lot of music.
Yay, better.
Right?
Are you guys getting married in the Chicago area, or are you picking somewhere else?
We're actually going to be in Tennessee, closer to his family.
Oh, okay. So he's in Tennessee?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
Yes,
perfect.
yes.
Are you guys planning on moving down here at some point, or are you just kind of split the...
Absolutely. We're definitely going to move there. We're actually looking at houses right now in Jackson.
Oh, Jackson. Yeah, that's like 2 hours west of Nashville. I've been through Jackson.
Yes. So we're definitely looking around in that area. So we're super excited.
That's great.
Yeah, and plus it's easy for work, because right now in Chicago, it's like an 8-hour drive to get anywhere, and to get to where we work in Dollywood and all that. So moving closer there would, I think, help a lot with our work.
Absolutely. That makes so much sense. I mean, and I always said that too when I first moved to Nashville. It's like you can literally draw a circle around Nashville and you can get anywhere within like 6 to 8 hours, and you can cover a lot of areas and regions. So it makes it super convenient. So I think that's why Nashville is another reason why like it's a hub for so many tours and things like that, because it's so centrally located, as well as all the other reasons why Nashville is so popular. So that makes a lot of sense. So okay, you started off and you created this radio show, and then 5 years ago, the Josie Awards appeared and were born, and now we're in the year 2019. How has it transitioned from year 1 to now going into year 5? Kind of explain that process.
Well, it's funny because the first year we were kind of just expecting. I mean, we weren't really expecting a big turnout. So we got like this little, we got this banquet area at the Springs building, which is owned by the Opryland Hotel. So we were like, we're just going to showcase music. We're going to recognize the great artists out there. And we're going to have like a concert and, giving out awards, right? But there was just such a huge just outpouring of support that we actually had to split our show in two, because it was just completely sold out. And we were just surprised by that, because it was our very first year.
How did they hear about it? I mean, how did the word get so big?
Right. I think it's mostly from the Josie show, because people have really followed me from when I was 14. A lot of these independent artists have, either heard of me from different outlets, or, we definitely use the great social media, Facebook, Twitter, we love them, to help us out there. But now it's so cool because independent artists are hearing our name and they want to be involved. And we've noticed that each year it's getting bigger and bigger. We've been to the Nissan Stadium. We went to the Schermerhorn Symphony Center, and now Dollywood is our home. And it's just incredible to see all of the great independent artists and how much it's grown. What's pretty neat is this year, actually, last year we had like 13,000 nomination suggestions come in. This year it doubled. We noticed to 22. What was it? 22,000.
23,025.
Yeah. So it was.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You definitely could see the growth, and we just want to reach as many independent artists as we possibly can to be able to showcase them, and we just love it too. So I love getting to meet people.
We got to tell you how cute this was. This was hilarious. The very first year, we were like, we'll go to the Opry, we'll get this cute little banquet hall, right? Like she was saying, we're like, we'll get it for like 100 people. Maybe we'll get lucky and we'll get like 70 people come, and
still a party
or anything like that. I'm like, this would be so fun, So we called back and we're like, we're at 300. Do you have something else? They're like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. We'll put you in this room. I'm like, okay. Call back again. We're at 500. Do you have anything else for us?
Wow.
They're like, you know what? We'll just give you the Springs building, fill it up, do your thing. And then, so I called back and I'm like, okay, let's go ahead and discuss everything. It looks like it's going to be about 800 people. And they're like, whoa, we can only fit like maybe 500. I'm like, wait, you told me I could fill it up.
Oh my God.
So it was just so funny the first year.
How did you handle that?
Well, luckily we were friends with an amazing, concert promoter. I called him up and I said, hey, so here's what happened. What do we do? And he just started laughing. He's like, you girls. He just started laughing and he's like, you got to split the show, dear. That's the only way. You're going to have people standing outside on the greens. So, so we split the show. We ended up doing a matinee and an evening show, and it was awesome. But we realized from that everybody really wanted to be together. Like they tried to stay at both shows anyway, which was fine. We let them, but it was, kind of standing room and that sort of thing. So we were just surprised. I mean, we were so taken back from year one, and it's just been an incredible growth every year.
I was at the Nissan show. I had sang backup for Joe Bayer. I remember
No way.
Yeah.
I know your name.
Yeah.
I was like, I know her name. I can't place it. Yeah. Now I know.
Yeah. So I was he had asked me to do that. So it was the first time I I heard about you guys, but like I wasn't 100% like familiar with the whole thing. And then since then, it's been like I've been trying to kind of get in your guys's, my name on your radar. And then, Chuck Thomas, thank goodness he kind of opened up that door for myself. It's hard sometimes as an artist to kind of know, like, how do you approach this? What's the best way to get your attention or whatever. And so thankfully, Chuck was able to show me the way and kind of just encourage me to, hey, submit your stuff, So I appreciate you guys doing that. And that's my next question is, what is your advice to somebody who's kind of up and coming and maybe doesn't quite know how to get their stuff on your radar? What do you look for? What is your criteria? Explain that.
Well, absolutely. Well, all you really have to do is just get in touch with us. We're super, super easy to get in touch with. I talk to everybody. So really, you can connect with me on Facebook, on Twitter, anywhere. And we really are open to just connecting with anyone. And, if you just send us, your music or a music video so we could check out what you're doing. And, we love to learn a little bit more about, what your aspirations are and what you would like to see from your music. And we kind of just like to,
if
it's super easy.
If you actual contact, and I say try a few times because we just get blasted, especially like this time of year. Email Tina@josieshow.com. Just hit us up there. That's fine. If that gets too overloaded and we haven't answered you, private message on Josie's page. If you can, we check the other box and whatnot. So if we're not friends, we'll still find you at some point. And, shoot messages over, tag us and things, just so that we can see it. Most of the time people will start with putting their music on the station if they're a country music artist. If not, they try to maybe contact us to get on the Josie show, because that's all genre, and we can play your songs and chat a little bit, do an interview, and that's a great way to get in. And now we have Indie's Voice magazine. You can submit your material through there as well. So there's tons of ways, but I say just go ahead and keep hitting every single one that you can.
And during the Josie Music Awards time, where you're able to suggest independent artists or submit your own material for review, definitely do that. Do not be afraid to send in your material to the Josie Music Awards, because you never know. And it's super easy to do, and you never know, you may get nominated.
Yeah, that is the goal. Absolutely. Okay, so what has been your biggest, maybe it's your biggest guest or your biggest highlight so far, either between the show or your radio show?
Okay, so I think my most memorable Well, one that was big was Nicole Anderson, I believe. She was in the TV show Jonas with the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah.
And so, talking to her was incredible. And she had so many fans that were calling in, that were in the chat room. So that one was like probably our biggest, with so many people that got involved. But I think the one that was very exciting for me was Mr. Ray Price, because he has been in the country business forever. I mean, everybody knows who he is. He's just a country legend.
He's an icon. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And, I'm so honored I was able to talk to him, before he passed away. And, he gave me such great, tips, and, I was able to hear some of his stories, and he was just wonderful. I mean, he really wanted us to just keep traditional music alive. And, that's definitely a promise that I kept, and I'm definitely keeping traditional music in the forefront for him. And he was the nicest man ever. Him and his wife were just so incredible. Like, before we even got to talk to them on the air, we talked to them a little bit before. And can we tell about the excitement? It was so cute.
It was so cute. Josie, I think, was a nervous wreck. I'm surprised she didn't pass out by the time the interview happened.
I almost did.
So we started at probably like 10ish in the morning. And the interview didn't actually end up taking place till 4:30 at night. And so we would get his lovely wife on the phone, and she'd say, "Okay, hold on one second, hang on for Mr. Ray Price. Here he comes. Here comes Mr. Ray Price." And then a couple minutes later, she'd be like, "Oh, just 1 second, he was here. We'll call you back."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Okay," and that happened like 10 times. And
it's so funny. It's so funny. Hilarious. He has such a big property that he was like with his horses and stuff. And he was like, he was wandering around and doing all that. And then finally, when we were able to get to him, he was just, he could not have been sweeter. He was so funny. Him and his wife, they're just hilarious.
That is so funny.
They were so lovely.
So
it was hilarious.
That's a hilarious story. I love that. You can only imagine, like, he's probably just like in his own world, like, okay, yeah, But yeah, you get to that point, you're like, man, I deserve this in life,
Exactly.
Awesome.
He was loving his life, and I cannot blame him.
You're like goals right there.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
It was obtained.
That's funny. So I'm going to kind of, go more polarized to you. So we talked about sort of the highlights and your most memorable thing. I want to also know about being 14 and being a female, as well as myself, in the music industry. Independent, I'm independent, you're independent. What has been sort of some challenges that you have endeavored over maybe recently or just through this whole process?
Well, to be honest, I haven't had a lot of problems in that category. I have noticed sometimes for independent artists, they do take the male singers more seriously. They maybe play them a lot more than the women. And, honestly, we've just tried to stay away from that. I don't think I've ever experienced.
I think the only thing that I think we've seen coming up, and it was a long time ago, so it's not at the forefront of your head anymore. But when she first got started, first off, it was most of the hassle, I would say, came from the fact that she was so young, and so men in radio who were usually around in their 50s. Kind of just, thought of her as like, oh, this is just a joke. Oh, look at this kid. What does she think she's doing? Right. And then the more popular she got, the nastier they got. So there was a little bit of that for like a year or so. And we just, ignored it and just kept doing our thing.
Yeah.
But there was a little bit of that, I would say. And, but it's always been, from older,
Older in the radio.
Men in radio, I would say.
Yeah, older in the radio business. I mean, they looked at me. Obviously, I was, at that point, maybe 15, 16 when that went down. And, he was doing the same thing. He was promoting independent artists, and he felt like he should be the place, you know what I mean, for independent artists to come to. And I mean, that's great. You could definitely do that. But, I would like to also be able to, chat and meet people. I mean, it's definitely something that I love. But, sometimes I noticed with this gentleman that he just did not like it when if I got like an interview or if somebody said something positive about me, it rubbed him the wrong way. He's like, why is this, little girl, you know what I mean, getting any attention? So I did notice that a lot.
Yeah. I think it's amazing that you're just continuing to, persevere. Yeah. So what are some advice that you would give somebody maybe trying to do something similar, run a radio show, maybe have their own award show? All of these brands that you guys have, you have so many different things that you're involved in. What is some advice?
Oh my goodness. Well, definitely it takes a lot of time. As you know, it's hard work with whatever you get into. And just make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Make sure you're not doing it for, yourself, but make sure that you're doing it to support the independent artists out there. And, as long as you're doing it for those reasons and that you love it, then I say go for it. And it's definitely something that I want to see more of. I want to see more outlets for independent artists out there, because there's not that many. I would like to see other, radio shows, award shows, etc., that are, doing it for the right reasons and are doing it, legitimately.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's,
not easy to find.
It's definitely difficult, but as long as you are doing it for the right reasons, as I said, it's definitely rewarding.
Absolutely. So you guys have your show September 21st at Dollywood. I'm planning on going, so I'm already excited. We're going to make the trip out there. How can people get involved in that? Can anyone go to this? Is this something you have to be invited to? Can you tell the listeners kind of more about that?
Absolutely. Well, it's for everyone. Everyone is able to, come and just attend if they would like. And yes, it's September 21st in the DP Celebrity Theater in Dollywood. And tickets are now available. You could go to josiemusicawards.com/tickets. And what's really neat is with this one ticket, you're able to go into Dollywood for a couple days, one for our events and then, the other for fun with friends and family. And you get the full JMA Dollywood experience. You get to enjoy the park, but you also get to,
I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yes, yeah. So it's for 2 days. Okay. Exactly. And you can, you have the whole JMA experience, like the red carpet, media, meet and greets. We have so many incredible special guests this year. And it's just a lot of fun, and anyone can attend.
It was definitely a very fun event when I went a couple years ago, and it's family friendly, and it was such a great social. Even if you don't know a lot of people, you can definitely make friends, because I made a lot of friends just hanging out with everybody and just kind of hearing about your story and how they kind of came to this point in their career. And I just love how everyone is just kind of on this journey together. We're all independent artists. We all have something. We have a common denominator, and we're just all there to kind of support each other and make great music and be a part of something really special. So I really appreciate you guys doing that and keeping that alive. I assume we're just going to keep going and every year getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? That's the goal, right?
We definitely want to continue. I always say I want to continue until I'm 90. But I really would love to just keep going and supporting as many independent artists as we possibly can, to the point where mainstream radio and labels are looking at independent artists seriously, and
right.
I love the networking part of it. I love when artists are able to connect with other artists, and then we see that they start a collab with each other, and then they're making music together. I just love that whole vibe. And at the JMAs, we're all about positivity. So I love that incredible vibe that you get. Everyone just loves each other. Even people who are in the same category are just having fun the next day. And having fun the next day on the rides at Dollywood. It's just really a fun environment, and that's how we want to keep it.
I love that you guys are not in Nashville, because you're still in Tennessee, but Nashville is so. I love Nashville, but there's so much going on all the time, 24/7, 365 all the time. So you guys make people drive out to East Tennessee, which for me is my most favorite place to be. I love East
Beautiful.
Tennessee. So pretty out there, and you sort of create this isolated event where people are there for for the event, and they're strictly to be focused on the JMAs and making it a memorable experience. And then you guys throw in the theme park experience and all that stuff. And you guys are doing the pre-party this year at Old Red, correct? Did I read that?
Yes. Our pre-party is going to be at Old Red Gatlinburg. And they're shutting down the place for us. So it's
nice.
I know. So it's going to be the attendees. We're taking over. And that's going to be the day before our award show. So that will be September 20th. And
okay.
Yeah, and we still have to work out the times with them, so we're still figuring that out. But we will announce it when we are able to. And but it's so much fun, and we just love the mountains. We love the vibe there. We've done it in Nashville, and we absolutely loved it, and we love the people there. But like you said, there's so much music there, and there's so many different artists out there that we really kind of wanted to just step away from all of that and just focus mainly on the independent artists that are a part of our event and also our attendees. We wanted to make it more of like an experience, you know?
Yeah. We ran out of venues that were large enough.
That too. We have noticed that we did have a situation where there's so many great places in Nashville, but not enough to keep us all, in the same room.
I never thought about that. That's so true. Yeah. So Titans was great, but I mean, what happens if it rains, or what happens if it's, bad weather or whatever?
Right. And it's on stadium. And you were there. It was the hottest.
It was so hot. I remember that. I was like sweating.
Yes, it was
my booty off.
Right? It was so hot. And after that, we were like, okay, we cannot do the outdoors thing. I mean, it was nice. It was beautiful. We love Nissan.
My makeup really melted off.
Was running. I'm telling you. But
you should have confidently ready.
But towards the end there, we were just, we were just sweating and nobody really could take it anymore. So we're like, we would love to just be able to be indoors, nice air conditioning. Air conditioning.
That's right.
And Dollywood was, we love Dollywood. So we were like, this would be perfect, right? And everyone is so nice there. I mean, Dolly must have some really high standards for the people that work there, because she has some incredible people, from those that like greet people at the door for us to, the great staff. I mean, the stage manager.
Dolly Parton.
Right?
I mean, come on.
Exactly.
I mean, this is a long shot, but do you think you could ever get her involved? I mean, I don't know. You never know. Make a guest appearance.
Right? It would be really neat. We know her schedule is crazy, but it would be pretty neat. And I know a lot of people mention this to us, that Dolly sometimes does surprises in Dollywood a lot of the times. And people are like, would it be cool if like she surprised during, a day that the JMAs were there? I was like, I would pass out.
You never know.
But you never
know.
know
What you should do is make it a campaign on your guys' radio and social media. Like all the fans like message her or something. You know what I mean? And get her to just be like this flood of like,
JMA's
come to the Josie Awards. You never know. That would be so cool. And that was like my next question is, would you guys ever think about trying to maybe get it televised, or trying to do, something along those lines? I mean, I'm not even sure how you would do that. I know it's possible. Is that something you guys would consider?
It's definitely something I would love. What do you?
Yeah, you know what? We've talked to some people over the years a little bit, because everybody and their uncles wants to somehow stream it. And you know what? I think we probably will at some point. We're just looking for the right opportunity. So we're not necessarily looking for, just something that would cover a good amount of people, because we have people coming from all around the world. So we're not looking for like a YouTube channel or something like that. I mean, that's great, but not for this. I think we're looking for, something more along the lines of serious TV. So when we can find that right opportunity, then we'll definitely do it so that it reaches as many people as we possibly can reach. Yeah.
I mean, maybe a GAC or a CMT or something like that. Or, I don't know. There's a lot of networks now. There's like Pop Network and, all these great networks now that maybe could feature something like that. So,
I mean, we would definitely be open to any possibilities, that welcome independent artists, any opportunities that they're like, yes, we would love to feature an independent award show with just independent artists. We are so for that, and we would love to have once again another platform to be able to widespread the indie community. So
Yeah, I mean, the sky's the limit, and and just continuing to think big like that. I hope that happens for you guys. That would be absolutely amazing for you guys, but all of the artists as well, because how hard we all work, So yeah, that's amazing. So okay, with every show I have Sonic Female, I like dig a little bit deeper beyond the success and things like that, and I try to every guest we talk about something that is a little bit more of a human interest aspect of it.
There are a couple things that are very important to me that affect me personally. When I was around 9 or 10, I was diagnosed with OCD and comorbid anxiety, and many people do not know that about me because with any mental illness, people just see a smile on your face and assume everything is okay, but you never know what someone is going through inside. Sometimes there's days where it's hard to, get out of bed, but you have to, thankfully for me, I found a passion that really kind of helps me through that. And I really love what I'm doing. So that helps. And so that's always been just a huge thing for me, mental health awareness. And next year we're even talking about how we like to do charities for people who charities that we love. So like last year we did for bullying. This year we're doing a dedication to the troops and to veterans. And, next year I would love to do like one for mental health awareness and bring that into the forefront. And so that definitely has been a big one for me. And then also going back to the bullying in school, it was pretty difficult for me. There was a lot of bullying, not only from kids, but the teachers, because they just couldn't understand. They just couldn't understand me. I mean, they were like, kind of like, what is this girl doing? She's into everything. She keeps talking. She does, and, and it's not that I didn't want to, learn and all that. It was just difficult for me. And, sometimes teachers just do not, understand that. And so, those two things are something that I always fight against. And in anything that I do, we will make sure that that's in the forefront, whether it's mental health awareness for bullying. We always make sure that it's something close to our hearts. So that's
interesting. And I find sometimes a lot of creatives have this level of you're susceptible to a lot more things with emotions and things that trigger you. And are there things that trigger you that sort of set you into that sort of state?
Well, I have the type of OCD where I get, scary thoughts like, will I get sick? Will I die? Typical things that people can experience. The compulsive thoughts is the ones that I get, and which is very debilitating. And also it makes it very difficult to. You wouldn't think so, but I have some kind of. I wouldn't say antisocial, but like sometimes it's hard for me to really connect with people. But really doing this award show and starting the radio show has really helped me connect and be able to get out of my own mind and kind of focus on somebody else. And I love to keep myself and my mind busy. I feel like it makes me healthier, happier to really just do that, because when, being younger, before I even had the radio, I mean, I was at a state where, I didn't go anywhere. I didn't talk to anybody because I was like, my friends are all having fun, enjoying the outside, and I'm over here worrying about crazy things. So I always felt different. So I wanted to make sure that I had something for me that I could enjoy. And music was always an escape for me. So I was like, what could I do? What could I do that kind of helps me in a way? And music was always there. So
that's so incredible to be able to fight through that and persevere. And I know personally the difficulties that hinders a lot of things, but it's not that it ever goes away, because it doesn't. You have to learn kind of like a new normal and learning how to kind of work through those things. And for me, it was audio engineering. Like producing music was a way for me to like turn down all those other, sort of negative things that are, I don't know how to explain it, but someone that doesn't have this, it's hard to explain. It's like always there, and you have to learn to just kind of push that down and let the healthy part kind of take over. So that's the challenge that I find with mental health somehow or some way. So it's learning how to kind of work through that. Tina Marie, did you notice that kind of growing up, or is it something that, maybe there was a moment or something that kind of triggered that?
You know what? I think, for us, we weren't very aware of any of this. So I think probably when she was about 2, everybody was like, oh, just terrible too. She's just being naughty. But it was different. To me, it just seemed different. It wasn't just naughty behavior. And then, as she got a little bit older, you seen a little bit more, a little bit less here and there, and I think people just think that, she just has a behavior problem, you spoiled her or something, whatever. But, and then
Which
as
is
she
really
got
unfair
older,
that people automatically
yeah,
jump to that
they just,
conclusion.
basically control your kid kind of thing, and it wasn't like that. For a good portion of my years, I worked in early childhood education, and you've seen different things, and you can easily point out that there's something else here going on. And so it took us several specialists, several doctors, several whatever, until we got a good diagnosis and something that worked. And then we were like, oh, okay. And then at that point, you learn as much as you can, and you do everything you can to try and help and support and make this. You can't make it go away. You wish you could, but you can't. So all you can do is make it easy to deal with, and that's just that's just kind of what we've done from there. So.
I do have to say it was such a relief. Many people who are dealing with this internally, maybe there's a stigma around it. Definitely need to talk to a loved one, a family member, because there was a while where I kind of kept these thoughts to myself. I just assumed everybody has these thoughts, like maybe everybody does. But, gradually it got worse, and, I kept coming up to my mom. I remember I was always worried about having a heart attack. So I would always come to my mom, I think I'm having a heart attack. Am I having a heart attack? And we just realized this was not normal. So it was such a relief to be able to, finally admit that there was a problem and, talk to somebody and figure out what was really going on. And I'm probably in the happiest place that I've ever been since being able to find my passions, to be able to find out who I am, and learning to accept it. I mean, it's not something that's going to go away, but it is something that you can deal with, and it doesn't make you crazy. It makes you different. You know what I mean? Everyone has something.
Absolutely. And I love how you're so positive and so inspirational, and you're not letting this disease control you, because if you let it
can.
And a snap, it can. What would be your advice to, so maybe someone's listening to this and they're at the bottom and they just don't see any hope, they don't see the light. What would you tell to them?
I think the best thing that I would tell them is to just talk to a friend, a counselor, a family member, reach out to somebody. And, even just talking to somebody could really make a difference. And just know that whatever is going on, it's not permanent. You know what I mean? It's something that is going on right now. It may be a really tough time at this current moment for you. But eventually it will get better. And just always keep your friends, your family close. And if not, sometimes people aren't close with their family, make a friend. You could talk online. There's people that you could talk to, counselors online. Just definitely reach out and don't keep that all inside, because it's not easy to do, and it will drain you eventually.
Yeah. So seeking help and just trying to seek professional attention on that, and just try to get some sort of answers as to what it is, and then assess it, move on, try to make a new normal, and figure out what triggers are. And I don't know if that relates to you, life, but I know there's certain things that will trigger me, and so I have to be careful as to what is may or may not be, causing episodes or more or less,
Right. And everyone has different, like you said, everyone has different triggers. Everyone has different things. But if you're able to really look deep and talk to somebody about, then you'll be okay. You're not crazy. You're not, your life isn't over. You just have to figure out what your best options are. And please, if you have mental health, please seek professional help.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Back to more positivity.
Talking. Yes.
So as we're sort of wrapping up things, what are kind of some goals and sort of things that that you haven't done yet that you're looking to do, like 5 years from now, 10 years? I mean, you're only 24. So, I mean, you have many years ahead of you.
That's a good question. I think I just want to continue to really give independent artists a voice and a platform. And anything that involves music, I just want to be a part of. So, I mean, whether that's songwriting in the future or singing. I have a single out from when I was like 14 or 15.
Oh, you sing too?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I had my first single when I was 15 called Teenage Girl with Jandar Records. And it was a great experience. I absolutely loved it. And it's definitely something that I would love to do maybe in the future. But I'm definitely focused more right now on helping independent artists. And it's just exciting for me. So I just want to continue to do that.
Would you guys ever consider maybe like a label or, trying to do that?
We want to.
You know what?
Yeah.
We have tossed this around so many times, and we have done so much research because everyone is asking. And you know what? We're trying to find the right way to do it. So if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. That.
Legally.
We're going to do it the right way, and we're going to make it beneficial to people. So we haven't quite figured out how to make it happen yet. But it is definitely something that's at the top of the list.
We want
to. Yeah. I mean, once again, you guys are moguls. You're doing so much. Just keep going. Might as well. So just last minute things. What would you guys like to share? Maybe your website, maybe your social media, your radio show information, and your award show. Just kind of give the listeners some last minute tidbits.
Awesome. Thank you. So you can check out The Josie Show, which is my radio show where I do interviews. I play music. You were a guest. So it was a lot of fun chatting with you. And you can find that at josieshow.com. Yes. Josieshow.com. Countryblastradio.com is our station.
And how do you find that? Because I know I had to download the app. You want to explain that?
Yeah, so you could do the app. You can listen to it on the app, Country Blast Radio, and it's free. It's available on all your mobile devices, but also online at countryblastradio.com. You can find us there. And then also with the Josie Music Awards, you can find us at josiemusicawards.com. Those are pretty much the three mains that you can go to, but also I'm on social networking sites as well, like Facebook. And if you just type in Josie Passantino or the Josie Show or Josie Music Awards, you'll find me. So
yeah. And then your award show is September 21st.
September
at
21st.
Dollywood. Yep. And you guys can get tickets right now. So when are you guys announcing all of the nominees? When does that happen?
Yes. So we should have the complete list.
We should have the complete list back from the panel in about 2 to 3 weeks, I would wager to say. They go through everything. They do a full review on everybody that comes in, so it takes a little bit of time. But I say 2 to 3 weeks we'll have the official released would be my guess, yeah.
Yeah. I also wanted to mention that even though, the nomination suggestions are over, there are still ways that artists can get involved. We have performance application up at josiemusicawards.com where you could submit kind of like an audition video of a live performance that you've done. And we are booking for Ole Red Gatlinburg, performance slot there, and then also for our JMA award show at Dollywood. So if you want to send in a performance application for possible performance slot, you can do that. And so please just make sure you go and check out everything that we're doing because there's plenty of things to get involved in.
Absolutely. That's great. Well, thank you guys so much for being a guest on Sonic Female. And you guys, make sure you guys follow them. I want a copy of your single. I want to play it.
I will. I'll give it to you.
All right. We're going to close it out with Josie Passantino, teenage girl. Thank you guys so much for listening to Sonic Female. Until next time, have a great day.
I'm a teenage girl living in this big world, trying to make a name for myself. My dreams are big, but nothing's gonna hold me back. I'm gonna make this a living, not gonna quit it or give in. The road is hard, but as long as I have you by my side, it's gonna be an incredible ride. Yesterday I was mama's little angel, ponytails and riding bike trails. But today I take control of where I wanna go. This teenage girl is stronger now. Each experience is teaching me how. Yeah, I'm gonna get there, don't doubt it. Oh no, I'm not afraid, 'cause I know I won't have to do this alone. This teenage girl's dreams are coming true. I couldn't have done this without all of you. Even if I fall, I know I'm gonna be alright. 'Cause these dreams aren't only mine. 'Cause I'm a teenage girl, doesn't mean I'm not ready. I'm gonna be slow but steady. I'm gonna get where I wanna be at. You can count on that. Yesterday I was mama's little angel, in ponytails and riding bike trails. This teenage girl is stronger now. Each experience is teaching me how. Yeah, I'm gonna get there, don't doubt it. Yesterday I was mama's little angel, in ponytails and riding bike trails. But today